Welcome back to another episode of Power Tips, everyone. We're excited to be here to talk a bit about Dynamics 365 for marketing and the 2023 release Wave 2 updates, except for the part where Dynamics 365 marketing doesn't really exist anymore. So that's an interesting segue, I guess. We wanted to start off by calling out the fact that farewell marketing, as you see on screen. So this concept of a name change, right? Which is shocking for Microsoft. And so we've got this concept of transitioning marketing into the umbrella that is customer insights. And so in short form, what you're really doing is we're transferring the marketing components into what's called customer insights journeys. And then the former customer insights is now customer insights data, which I think makes a lot of sense when I read this, as much as I chuckled at yet another name change. It does fit nicely. I mean, they've kind of been moving the needle on the marketing side to this idea of, action-based components, and which is all revolving around data and what's the journey that somebody should follow as a result of that. So totally makes sense, but an important thing to call out, because what you will undoubtedly see is things like Dynamics 365 marketing is going away. It's not. It's not going anywhere. It's just the name, but the functionality is still there. And of course, one of the beautiful things about Microsoft is it will continue to evolve and expand and get stronger and better as time goes on. So
However,
overall, an important part.
I do think we should also point out that outbound marketing is no longer available.
True.
So if you
Yes.
were
Very good call.
leveraging outbound marketing in a prior instance of Dynamics for marketing, you're grandfathered in for a year, 2 years, who knows how many years. But if you're new, no outbound marketing.
Yeah, and
At
that's a
all?
good call out, right?
It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone, and they've been kind of pushing that a little bit for a while. That they've said the future is real time, right? And so they're
Mhm.
transitioning there. So this is officially them putting that stake in the ground, I'd say. But it is an important consideration for anybody who's an existing customer. You surely know about this. If you don't, look into the implications and what you need to think about and plan for coming down the road. But you are, to Heidi's point, grandparented in, as perhaps we should say
That's
nowadays.
better. That's better.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I have a few tips from top things that I saw in the Dynamics for Marketing notes, even though maybe they shouldn't be called that anymore. But now we're going to be able to create journeys with templates. So I think previously we were creating those from scratch, and we now will be able to have out of the box templates for common scenarios that you can use to get your journeys up and running quickly. Also, you can take existing journeys that you have and convert those into templates so that you could use them again. And you can also preview your templates, so see what this would look like and how this would work prior to going live. So some cool things there, and that will be in public preview the end of this year and general availability early next year.
This is an awesome
Now,
one. I feel like it's a
yes,
huge time saver, right? Because I think a lot of people have very similar journeys. So this,
yeah,
yeah, this is
yeah, and
cool.
so much of this stuff, like we don't, if you're getting started, you don't know what you want or you don't know how you need it to be. So like get started with kind of industry standard and then kind of adapt from there and change and figure out what you really need in your organization. And now Copilot. So as all of us were looking at the release notes and picking out our top features, we actually both Heidi and I had picked out all the Copilot ones to talk about. And so we're kind of combining those and we'll split them up. But, that tells you what we're interested in and the things that we're hearing. And especially, like I said, if you're getting started with marketing in your organization, not just the tool, but marketing in general, right? Copilot can be really helpful for getting all of that set up and figuring out what you want to do. So one of the Copilot features that is available is to prevent sending at unwanted times. So using your Copilot, Lady Godiva, the princess, is joining us. So using your Copilot to figure out what times you want your session, what times you want your email send scheduled for, and setting up quiet time. Now, Heidi's going to talk about some of the other Copilot features that are available.
All right. This one I'm excited about. Have you ever set up your domain and authentication in Dynamics for marketing? It is irritatingly complicated and unnecessarily complicated. I love this. I'm just saying hello, easy chair, right? You can just go through this wizard and it's just going to give you this little output on the right-hand side. It's going to detect who your domain hosting provider is. You can click a little button that gets all of your CNAMEs, all of your DMARC values that you need to get over to your webmaster in like 2 steps. Bravo, Copilot. I
Awesome.
like this. Public preview, October. General availability, sadly unknown. But hey, this is very cool. And I think it's a great thing to add to Dynamics for Marketing because you don't need to know how to do that. Now, as if Kylie's update isn't cool enough, you can create journeys using Copilot. So if you're using Dynamics for Marketing, you've probably already noticed that Copilot exists in creating segments today. You can use natural language to create the queries that build your segments. So I put here, describe it to design it strikes again. I get so excited when we see the describe it to design it tech popping up places. Now, of course, it's co-branded Copilot, but that's this. So why do you need that complicated canvas anymore? Just Copilot your way to success. Put your natural language in of what you're trying to do. Here's the screenshot that's from the release notes. Will it be perfect? Of course not. It's never perfect on its first pass through, but it's going to get you an excellent starting point. I am the most excited about this because journeys can be complicated. Like Kylie said, it's hard when you're getting started and you're not quite sure how to do it. So this is cool.
And what's, I think, interesting to think about is on the describe it to design it for Power Automate, right? They started with that, and then now they have, well, edit with Copilot. So you could build it starting from describe it to design it, and then you could keep editing it with natural language. So hopefully we're going to see the same thing here with journeys. So I could either create my journey this way or even create it from a template and then use Copilot to edit and make adjustments.
Absolutely. Yeah. And last but not least, let's have our own little built-in marketing assistant, shall we? Copilot can edit and rewrite your copy. It's not going to write it for in the first instance for you, but this is the ability to, as they say, perfect the language tone of your message. I put perfect in quotes because come on. They are. But maybe. So this will support not just email, it also works for text messages, push notifications, and forms, as well as email. So I know the screenshots that we're provided with are all email. It will rephrase messages, adjust tone of voice, and shorten or lengthen your copy based on what you say. So you can see the screenshot at the top, it's showing you what you can do. Rewrite, tone, shorten, lengthen. And then on the bottom, it's this person has chosen to shorten it and it's giving you the example. And then you thumbs up, thumbs down to train the model better. I think this is really interesting. Public preview comes out sometime this month and general availability is in November. So this one's just around the corner. What do you guys think about these Copilot updates?
To me, this is the epitome of what AI can do for us, right? It's not about replacing us, although I'm sure there are areas that it can do that too, but it's all about how can we use that tool to be better, be stronger, be faster, be whatever. And so this to me is a perfect example of that. We're going to start and put our marketing expertise, whoever you are, on the thing, but then get that other perspective from AI data that I presume, don't know this for sure, presume it's trained on successful messages. So things that have proven to be successful are what's helping it make the recommendations that it is. Again, I don't know that that's necessarily what's trained that model, but I'd like to think that that's how it's being driven. So good feature.
Well, and if that's not how it is, I think that would be coming soon. And I think we've also seen other places where it is generating text too. So I think that would be kind of the next step, like, hey, generate my message based on this or based on this campaign, right? All that kind of stuff. If not here now, will be coming soon.
Yeah.
A quick honor off this topic really quickly, but I didn't put it in the slides because there was lots in there. But just honorable mention to a couple of the other things. Number one, they've expanded the volume, which is a huge one. I forget the exact numbers. I think it's up to 30 or even 300 million interactions that you can have tracked in there. So that's a really important one in the release notes because it just gives you more, right, to work with. And then the other one is
300 million.
It is 300 million. So that's great. And then the analytics stuff. There's some really cool analytics stuff that they actually have an image in there now, which is really cool to see. It gives you kind of perspective on all the metrics that it's looking at. which I think if you've tuned in before, you've heard me rave on a little bit about any time we can learn from the analytics and what is the data actually telling us is happening, and we don't have to, base decisions on what we think is happening. It's really the data says this is what's going on. So some, again, just sidebar, honorable mention things. If you haven't read the release guides, you should, as we've talked about before.
Awesome. So tons of cool things coming in Dynamics for Marketing or Customer Insights journey. It's always going to be marketing, just like CE is always CRM. But hope you enjoyed this episode of Power Tips. Come join us again in 2 weeks, and I think we'll be diving into field service at that point. Thanks, everybody.